Baxter Project.
The incident with the aristocrat made me hate the bourgeois and aristocrats even more. Thinking deeper, I realized I wasn't their only victim. All proles had always been oppressed by the bourgeois. Proles might have been able to cast spells, but without money to buy mana potions on their own, they were essentially helpless. They had enough mana for work, but not enough to improve the quality of their lives. The proles were consigned to a life of slavery. They were prisoners to capitalism, unable to move freely or happily through society. It was then that I remembered Libertad's mission to bring down the monarchy and the system it supported, and to create a new, classless society ruled by a new and just government of, by, and for the people. So I made up my mind. I decided I had to revive Libertad. This was the only solution to the social injustice that the proles faced every day. It was widely known that Fyodor Hendricks, the leader of Libertad, had been executed. However, I had heard no news about Gesang Alijabana, the muscular foreigner, so I assumed he was still alive. And he was. In the chaos of the battle in Maison de Beauvoir, Gesang had managed to escape. After months of looking for him all over the city, I was finally able to locate him. I told him about my plan to resurrect Libertad. It took some convincing, but he finally agreed to aid me. We shared, after all, the same vision for Overture. It took us a while to gather some members. Nobody wanted to be a martyr for a group that had failed to bring about revolution once before. In time, we began to grow. Jude joined our ranks as well. But there was one last thing we had to do before Libertad could be functional. We had to give the people a symbol of hope. Everyone knew that Libertad had once been crushed by the police, and its leader executed, publicly and without mercy. We had to give them a new savior. Someone they could put their faith in. Someone they would follow to the end of the world. Someone who they believed would give them salvation. And so, I became that savior. I donned a new persona. I became Amadeus. Jude? Thank you.
For what?
Nothing in particular. I just wanted to say that.
Well, you're welcome. Anyway, it's already late, and I'm tired.
Jude lies down on the bed, but keeps her eyes open. I don't know whether it was fate or pure chance that brought me and Jude together after I lost my hands, but now I can say that I really am thankful. It's funny, because when I first met her in the factory backyard with Elise, I didn't think our paths would cross the way they did. I wonder if Jude would have still saved me had we not met in the factory. I think she saved me because she knew Elise would have wanted that. In a way, I owe my life to Elise too. It's too bad I couldn't finish my research with Elise. But there is now something more important for us to work on together. If I can get Elise to join Libertad, that is. Realizing how late it is, I walk over to Jude and join her in bed. I feel Jude's warmth against my body, warmer and more precious to me than the heat coming from the hearth. Elise. In the morning, Jude and I go to Libertad's base. Along the way, we meet people who are leaving for work, ready to spend their day casting spells in a factory, exerting their mana, producing wealth for magical mechanical. But they won't be living this life for much longer. A revolution will change everything. As we're walking, I noticed an aged man sitting on the ground. His shoulder rested against the door of a house, his thin frame shrouded in gloom, and there was no life in his downcast eyes. I've seen him before. He was there when I gave a speech to factory workers several months ago. Jude and I stop walking. I crouch down in front of the man. He looks up.
Amadeus.
He calls my name, teary-eyed, his voice weak. Why aren't you going to the factory?
I'm not working there anymore.
Where are you working now? I can guess his answer.
I'm not working. Amadeus, what should I do? The factory fired me last month. I've used up all my savings and I'm out of work.
Why did they fire you?
Because I could no longer do my job on 2 bottles of mana potion a day. They refused to give me more potions. They said I wasn't worth the cost. I must be getting old. 10 years ago, I was able to finish the day with some mana left. Now, 2 bottles isn't enough for me. What should I do now? I don't have money if I don't work, but no one will hire me.
The man is sobbing now. Tears run down his cheeks. The sight of a grown man crying is heartbreaking.
I want to die. Even when I still had a job, I never had a good life. And now it's worse. I can't take this anymore. Why are the gods doing this to me? Why are the gods letting this happen to me? Why aren't they doing anything? Why, Amadeus? Why haven't the gods helped me?
Unfortunately, there are no gods who will protect you. The man looks away, tears silently running down his face. Look at your own life, then look beyond it. Look beyond the paroles, look beyond Overture. Look at this world, where men and women and children are killed and innocent people suffer every day. If the gods don't help them, they sure as hell aren't going to help you. If the gods don't hear their plea, they aren't going to hear yours. From all which I've seen, I can only conclude that the gods either don't exist, or they are a huge bunch of pricks, and I'd bet money on the latter. Life couldn't be this fucked up without some divine intervention. The man's sobs are getting louder. He buries his face in his hands.
Then I might as well just kill myself. If there's no more hope for me, I'd rather die than suffer every day.
No. Just because there's no hope from some god doesn't mean there's no hope at all. Be strong and take the shit life throws at you. Scream, howl, bawl, whatever you have to do to cope, but don't die just yet. Raise a middle finger to the sky and shout, "Fuck you, life! Do your fucking worst!" and not die, just to spite whoever it is that is passively watching us suffer. Listen to me. Live for just one more day. You've endured shit for your whole life. What's one more day to you?
One more day?
Yes. Do you think you can do that?
Yes. But what am I going to do tomorrow?
The man is still sobbing, but his face paints a mark of hope. He stares at me, waiting for some promise of salvation. When tomorrow comes, live another day. I stand up and leave with Jude.
We finished all the preparations. Let's hope we'll all succeed.
We must succeed. The revolution must happen. We've got to stop Joff, Godwin, and MM before they begin manufacturing analytical engines.
Analytical engines? Oh, you're talking about MM's secret project that our informant told us about.
Yes. These machines could spell the doom for many proles.
Why?
The analytical engine will be a huge and very complex magic machine. Its components will have to be assembled with a very high degree of precision. It's also still in a very early stage of development, which means they'll do rapid prototyping.
So you're saying that MM will soon upgrade their factories with more magic machines?
That's correct.
That's certainly not good. It has been estimated that the use of magic machines in factories will reduce MM's workforce by as much as 40%. Until now, MM has been using human workers, because the very low wages still make them cheaper than magic machines anyway. There will be no reason to keep the workers.
Yes. And not only that, the analytical engine will be capable of doing complex mathematical computation when its development is completed in 10 to 20 years. MM will use it to improve the factory's efficiency. Improved efficiency means a further reduction of the workforce.
That could mean hundreds of thousands of unemployed people.
So many people are at risk of losing their job. Working in a factory sucks, but not having a job sucks even harder.
I'm not against magic machines or the analytical engine as long as they're used for good. But judging from what MM has done to the proles so far, I don't expect they'll improve the lives of the people at the bottom of society. We have to make Joff, Godwin, and MM pay for their sins. If the gods won't punish them, we will.
We will indeed. The plan is set. What's left is telling the pros about it. Timing is delicate, though. If we tell people too early, the police may also hear about it.
But if we tell them too late, we won't be able to gather enough support.
Exactly.
Fire Day is the day we start the revolution. 3 more days. There's no choice but to send the word out today.
We can tell people that Amadeus is giving an important speech on Fire Day morning. We don't need to mention the revolution explicitly.
I can't be giving speeches all over the city in the same morning.
We can tell people from different districts different things. So it's Amadeus' speech in one district, mana potions giveaway in another, soup kitchens in others, and so on.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Good idea. Having so many events in the same day may still arouse suspicion, but not big enough reason for the police to do anything drastic.
We'll tell people the real plan on Moon Day.
Just a day before. Do you think it'll be enough?
Yes. The people hate MM. They believe in Libertad.
Very well. It's decided.
Let's do this. Jude, you'll be in charge of dissipating the information to the proles.
Yes, sir. For liberty.
Well then, I'll go brief our members about Fire Day.
Oh. I need you to tell them one more thing.
Of course, what is it?
If they notice a woman named Elise looking for Amadeus, they're to tell her that Amadeus will be waiting at the same place as yesterday after sundown.
Lady Elise? Very well, I'll tell them that. Amadeus, is something bothering you?
Sometimes. I wonder what would have become of me had I not lost my arms.
Why worry about the could-haves and would-haves, when there are still many cans and wills to plan?
You're right.
Amadeus. For liberty.
For liberty.
Give me all your money and mana potions if you don't want to get hurt.
A few strides in front of me stands a proletariat man, with a very foolish hand pointed at me. Lately, there have been a lot of incidences where citizens are being attacked by prole scum. But I never thought I'd be targeted. I didn't think they'd be that stupid. My would-be mugger glares at me, his hand aimed right at my face. And to think, his aura reeks of intelligence. I take a step forward.
I'm serious, I will really hurt you.
I take another step.
Stop, or else! Summon!
Water gushes from his hand, but I sidestep it and lunge forward. Another torrent of water. I adjust my movement slightly, just enough to get out of harm's way. Another one. This guy is really impatient. He shouldn't pick a fight with anyone if he doesn't know how to fight on the street. This isn't a sorcerer arena. On the street, you can't just blindly cast magic spells. Victory is usually decided in only 1 or 2 clean hits. It's about making every spell count.
Ah!
The man panics when he realizes that I'm now very close to him. He awkwardly tries to cast another spell with his left hand, but I grab his wrist with my right hand and jerk it upwards. My left palm touches his chest. Summon. For an instant, the sky flashes white. Lightning strikes, accompanied by a clap of thunder. The man's whole body convulses, his eyes roll backwards, and he falls limp to the ground. Boring. Since the proles started attacking people in the city, I've been helping the police apprehend criminals. I thought it would at least be more fun than playing Sorcerer. That game stopped being fun for me about 3 years ago. Unfortunately, these proles aren't very challenging. Libertad members put up a better fight than ordinary proles, but even they aren't that good. But I'm going to keep hunting these Libertans. I have to. Because the greatest criminal of them all is the Libertad leader, Amadeus. Much has been said about this man, but little is known about him. What are his gifted magical traits? How does he fight? How strong is he? As the leader of Libertad, he must have very powerful magic. The police are terrified of him. But personally, I can't wait to fight him. He's a trophy. Beating him would bring glory greater than winning any sorcerer championship. Amadeus is mine. At home, my father is talking with that professor from Conservatoire des Ouvertures.
Oh, good afternoon, young lord.
Afternoon. My father throws me a subtle glance that spells his disapproval with my way of returning the professor's greeting. In his eyes, the professor is a more respectable person than his own son.
Oh, so, Joff,
My father's attention returns to the professor.
is the demo unit ready?
Yes.
Perfect. Then we'll transport it to the conservatoire tomorrow.
We can't transport it, Johann.
Oh, why is that?
Even though it's just a demo unit, it's still bigger than an omnibus. I don't think it can go through the conference hall door.
Oh, I see. That means it will have to be taken apart and reassembled inside the hall.
Yes.
Well, fortunately, it's the weekend, so there aren't many people in the conservatoire. We'll transport the parts tonight. Then your engineers and technicians can assemble them on Sunday. On Moon Day, we will completely seal the conference hall, so no one else will see the analyt.
The professor pauses and glances at me for a second, before speaking to my father again.
So, no one will see the demo unit before the big reveal on Fire Day. Does this arrangement work for you?
He just censored himself. What is it that they don't want me to hear? I heard the word anal. What is so secret about anals that I can't be permitted to listen in?
Yes.
Good. Moving on to Fire Day.
The old man takes out a folded piece of paper from his pocket, unfolds it, and reads,
We'll start at 10 o'clock. Your demo unit will be on stage, front curtain closed. You'll start the presentation with an opening speech, followed by a technical explanation from your lead researcher, Aretha Blyton. That should take roughly half an hour. Then we'll do the demonstration. That should take about 15 minutes. And then you'll handle the rest of the presentation until 11. Is that right?
Yes.
Still not a man of many words, are you, Joff?
Whatever, Johann.
Oh. Anyway, according to the schedule, our staff will be ready to open the curtain at around 10:30. Well, I should be getting back to the conservatoire. See you on Fire Day, Joff.
Thank you for your work, Johann. See you on Fire Day.
The professor turns to me and gives a small, courteous bow.
Goodbye, young lord.
Goodbye. He leaves me and my father alone in the room. There aren't many things father and I can talk about, so before I'm forced to listen to another of his lecture about how I'm just wasting my time every day picking fights with thugs on the street, I think I'll just go to my room. His accusation isn't even true. It's usually the thugs who pick a fight with me. Usually. Well, Before I finish speaking, however, I am interrupted by the professor's voice from outside.
Oh, if it isn't Miss Blyton.
A bright female voice answers him.
Hi, Professor Poe.
And Miss Shelley. It's been a long time.
What? Miss Shelley? A reply comes in a different female voice, softer and more dignified.
Good afternoon, Professor Poe. It has indeed been a long time. I am deeply honored that you still remember me.
Likewise, Miss Shelley. I, too, am honored to be remembered. Ah, even little Janis is here.
Hey, Poe.
A third female voice. Why are so many women coming here all of a sudden?
Little Janis? I suggest you forget ever hearing that, girl.
I wish I could stay longer and chat with you ladies, but time isn't quite agreeable with me today. I hope to talk with you sometime, Miss Shelley.
It would be a great pleasure, Professor.
Goodbye, ladies.
Goodbye, Professor.
Ciao, Prof.
The professor's voice is gone, and his footsteps echo down the hall. The door opens. 3 women enter the room. The first one, loud and cheerful, is an MM engineer who has been having frequent meetings with my father and other MM executives lately. Commander Janis Woolf is also here. I often see her at the police station when I come to hand over a criminal, but this is the first time I've seen her together with the engineer woman. And the last one is Elise. The Elise. The girl I haven't seen for 5 years. My last memory of Elise is her screaming, "You should be in jail," at me, with tears in her eyes. She was mad at me for cutting Franz's hands off. She said it was my fault that Franz went missing without anyone knowing what happened to him. She said I should be thrown in prison for this crime, and that the only reason I wasn't was because I was the son of Lord Godwin. But that's wrong. They didn't put me behind bars because what I did wasn't a crime. It was self-defense. And since Franz, who Elise saw as the victim, was nowhere to be found, there was nothing to prosecute me for. But Elise was convinced that I was wrong. She hated me. Does she still hate me? A quick glimpse at her face is all I need to know that yes, she still does. She stares at me with eyes full of hatred for an awkward second, before averting her eyes. Elise despises me. How many times have I made Elise angry? I don't think she will ever forgive me. Now that I think about it, I guess the MM engineer hates me too. Oftentimes, this woman can't keep her mouth shut when talking with my father and the MM executives, but she never talks to me. I only realize it now, but her eyes bear the same hate for me as Elise's. That's right. I remember that she was a friend of Franz's too.
Ah, the young Godwin's here too. Perfect.
What is this about, Janis?
Libertad.
My father's eyebrows twitch for a moment, but then his usual face returns.
What about them?
These 2 girls came to the police station to report about Amadeus. I brought him here because I thought you'd want to hear it.
Amadeus? Have they found Amadeus? Shit! I can't let Wolf take the best part. I should be the one to catch him.
Yes. I did request to hear any important information regarding Libertad immediately. What about Amadeus?
This girl said she met him last night.
Wolf points at Elise.
Met, not saw?
I met him, my lord. He spoke to me.
Tell us everything.
Elise tells us about how Amadeus had waited for her near her house, led her to an abandoned factory, and talked her into joining Libertad.
I see. Interesting.
Amadeus had also told Elise about how my father had been responsible for the pro's life of poverty. I don't care about what my father did or does, but Amadeus was talking nonsense here. It's called business, moron.
This is still hard to swallow no matter how many times I hear the story. Elise, are you really okay? Did Amadeus hurt you?
I'm fine, Aretha. He didn't cast a single spell. In fact...
Elise suddenly falls silent.
In fact, what?
No, nothing. Anyway, Amadeus never tried to attack me at all.
Why'd Amadeus want to recruit you? You're not even a pro. I thought Libertad hated the bourgeoisie.
Amadeus seemed to know my past. He knew that I came from the proles.
That bastard knew your past?
Yes, he even knew my name.
Wolf closes her eyes, pondering about something. A long breath later, she opens them again and looks at Elise sharply.
That can only mean he's someone you used to know. Don't you remember anyone like him?
I couldn't see his face. He wore a hood that covered most of his face.
Well, try to remember, girl. Amadeus must be a prole who you knew back when you were still living among them. Chances are you knew him, too.
Maybe you and Amadeus used to work at the same factory.
I don't remember anyone like him.
Or was it someone who lived at Maison de Beauvoir?
No men lived at Maison de Beauvoir.
A customer.
Most customers didn't know me. Besides, almost everyone who came to Maison was a bourgeois or an aristocrat.
No other idea?
No.
Elise seems to be hesitating. Wolf probes deep into Elise's eyes, but doesn't say a word.
If she can't remember, she'll just have to meet him again.
Yes, that's my plan.
What? No! That's too dangerous. What if something happens to her?
The police will protect her, of course.
But...
It's all right, Aretha. I don't mind helping the police.
Elise...
We'll make her safety our top priority, I promise. Some dragoons will join me.
Dragoons? Is she talking about the mages in the dragoon unit? I had forgotten about the dragoon until I started working with the police a few years ago. Sure, I knew about the existence of an elite special forces unit in the police force, but didn't remember its name. I finally remembered when I learned that Wolf was the commander of this special forces unit. So, she wants to mobilize Dragoon to catch Amadeus. Well, since Amadeus has become such a serious problem, the king will definitely approve their mobilization. Wolf is really serious about catching Amadeus. Commander Wolf, I'd like to offer my help in this operation. Hearing my sudden offer, the commander throws me a glance and smiles slightly.
I knew it. Joff, do you mind if your son tags along?
Don't ask me. He'd go even if I forbade him. I'd rather he went with you than go off by himself and get captured.
I'm not going to get captured by Libertad.
Oh, forgetful are we?
Damn you. It wasn't my fault that Libertad captured me 5 years ago.
I'm going too.
Huh? This isn't a game, girl.
I have to make sure that Elise is not hurt.
Aretha, you don't have to. I'll be fine.
I'm doing this, Elise.
Aretha's face is set. She won't take no for an answer.
Aretha.
Well, if you die, it's not my problem.
Janis, I need her for Fire Day's presentation.
Jeez, fine.
Wolf shakes her head slowly.
I'll make sure she can at least still speak when she gets back.
How will I meet Amadeus?
Okay, here's the plan. You'll ask around in a Proles district until you find a Libertad member. Then ask him to convey a message to Amadeus saying that you want to join Libertad. Amadeus will find you again for sure. We'll ambush him and catch him then.
I see.
Do you think you can do that, little lady?
Yeah.
Good.
Message for your leader Amadeus.
Our big brother doesn't want any message from a little bourgeoisie like... Wait, what is your name?
Elise.
Amadeus will meet you after sundown. Same place as yesterday.
Don't you want to join Libertad? Aren't you here because you believe in me?
Run.
What?
Run! Leave this factory! Aretha, I'll go catch Amadeus!
What? Elise, wait!
Aretha gets ready to follow Elise, but then...
Amplify!
The Libertad woman attacks her.
Damn!
Let's go! Project!